Breaking news! You won't believe what we're about to uncover. Charlie Kirk's death, a political assassination? Or is there something much darker lurking beneath the surface? Was it really just a random act of violence? Or was Charlie silenced because he knew too much? What if I told you the forces behind his tragic end weren't some lone wolf, but a much bigger conspiracy? A conspiracy that involves names you wouldn't even expect. And get this, we've got the exclusive details. Anonymous sources, leaked documents, and those oh-so-wonderful classified reports have all spilled the truth. But trust me, this isn't your average political scandal. This is the kind of stuff they don't want you to know. You thought you knew everything about Charlie Kirk? Think again. Let me ask you, what if the people in power had more to do with this than we've been led to believe? What if the puppet strings were being pulled from behind closed doors, and this assassination was the final move in a game we never saw coming? Stay tuned, because the truth is about to hit you like a freight train, and once it does, there's no going back. Let's dive in. We've all heard the news. Charlie Kirk's death was tragic, but was it truly an accident? Or could there be a much darker truth hidden behind this so-called assassination? Let's not beat around the bush here. This isn't your average political fallout. This wasn't just a targeted attack. No. This was a calculated move in a high-stakes game, and someone wanted him gone. Who would want to silence Charlie Kirk, and why now? Let's start with the man himself, the controversial conservative activist, media mogul, and all-around lightning rod for hate, depending on who you ask. Sure, to his supporters, he was the hero of the right-wing world, spreading truth and liberation. But to his critics? Oh, he was nothing more than a loudmouthed opportunist, a figurehead of hate, pushing divisive rhetoric that many believed had no place in modern politics. Some even called him toxic for sowing discord in the very fabric of American democracy. Now, let's get real. Charlie wasn't exactly the most loved guy in certain circles. This was a man who ruffled feathers at every turn. From his opinions on race relations to his divisive views on LGBTQ+ rights, Charlie didn't just push buttons, he obliterated them. And those very opinions? They made him some dangerous enemies. You see, in the world of politics, having a platform means you're not just a mouthpiece, you're a target. Did Charlie know too much? Was he getting too close to a secret that powerful people didn't want to get out? And here's where it gets even crazier. The fact that we can't rule out a conspiracy here is not just a matter of speculation. This thing reeks of a setup. You see, this assassination wasn't the work of a random gunman. It was too clean, too swift, too calculated. You don't just kill a man like Charlie Kirk without being part of something far, far bigger. And let's not forget about the timing. Just think about it. We're talking about a man who is on the cusp of launching a nationwide conservative movement tour. You know, the kind of tour that gets people excited but also terrified. The kind that makes the elite tremble in their seats, knowing the power it could have to mobilize masses of disillusioned voters. And with that kind of power, well, it's no surprise that someone might just decide to take him down before things go too far. But we have to ask ourselves, who would gain from his silence? Who was desperate enough to end this? To some, Charlie was a threat to the status quo, and it's no secret that certain individuals and groups, whether they were political or corporate elites, might have had a real vested interest in keeping him quiet. After all, Charlie didn't just challenge politicians, he took on the very system itself. Could that have been his undoing? As we dive deeper into this mystery, I'm sure you're starting to wonder, just how deep does this go? As we dive deeper into this mystery, we begin to uncover things that seem too shocking to be true. Let's rewind a bit, shall we? The FBI's investigation into Charlie Kirk's death didn't just start with a random tip or a hunch. No, it started with a family member who had some serious concerns, and these concerns are starting to make things much clearer. Could this have been a case of political assassination? Or perhaps something more sinister? Whatever the case, the more we dig, the more we find out just how deep this goes. Now, picture this. Tyler Robinson, the man arrested for Charlie's murder, isn't just some random person caught up in a whirlwind of events. Oh no, he's been on the radar for quite some time. It turns out that Robinson was no stranger to the extreme sides of the political spectrum. In fact, Sources claim he had been radicalized over the past few years, and he wasn't exactly shy about his hatred for Charlie's views. His family even reports that, at dinner just days before the shooting, Robinson openly discussed his distaste for Kirk and what he stood for. He reportedly said, "Charlie Kirk is full of hate, and not in a way that was casual." It was the kind of statement that sends chills down your spine. But let's back up. What really happened here? Was Charlie Kirk targeted because of his political influence, or was it something more personal? To really understand what went down, we need to look at the timeline. According to surveillance footage from the Utah Valley University campus, Robinson was seen arriving on the morning of September 10th, driving a gray Dodge Challenger. Now, you might be wondering, why is the car important? Well, let me tell you, this wasn't just some average ride. This car had a direct connection to Robinson's actions that day. It's the same car he used to escape the scene. But that's not all. The footage shows Robinson in distinctive clothing, a maroon t-shirt, black hat, and light shoes, perfectly matching the description from eyewitnesses. And guess what? He didn't change when he was arrested just a day later. Coincidence? Or was he trying to leave a trail? And here's where it gets even crazier. This guy wasn't just some lone wolf plotting a spur-of-the-moment attack. No, he had a plan. According to leaked Discord messages, Robinson and his roommate had exchanged a series of unsettling texts. The messages indicated that Robinson had made plans to retrieve a rifle from a drop point. He even detailed the exact location of the rifle, wrapped in a towel and hidden in a bush. What was he planning? To execute the assassination in cold blood, and these messages were chillingly clear about his intentions. But wait, there's more. It's not just the rifle and the drop point that raise questions. Oh no. The messages also referred to the rifle's engravings, something you won't believe until you hear it. The fired casings had strange inscriptions like "Catch Fascist," "Bella Ciao," and if you read this, "You're gay LMAO." I mean, come on, does this sound like a random act of violence to you? These are not just bullets. They're messages, and they're deliberately left behind. Whoever was behind this wanted the world to know something, and it wasn't just about Charlie Kirk's death. It was about sending a signal. Now, let's look at the rifle itself. According to forensic experts, it was a Mauser Model 98, a .30-06 caliber bolt-action rifle. And guess what? The rifle had a scope mounted on it. It's not exactly your average "I was just out hunting" kind of rifle. No, this was a military-grade weapon, likely chosen for one purpose only: to kill with precision. The fact that it was hidden so carefully and its markings were so bizarre makes you wonder, was this really just a random act of hate, or was there a bigger scheme at play? Let's talk about the leaked reports for a second. There are claims that Robinson's family was deeply involved in helping law enforcement track him down. After all, it was a family member who alerted the authorities after Robinson apparently confessed to them about what he had done. What's the deal here? Could this whole investigation have been orchestrated by forces far beyond Robinson himself? Let's not rule out the possibility of outside involvement. There's no telling how deep this rabbit hole goes. But here's the million-dollar question. Was Charlie Kirk just an unwitting pawn in a bigger game? You see, political assassinations like this are rarely just about the person who dies. They're about sending a message. And let's not forget, the timing of this assassination could not have been more strategic. Charlie was gearing up to launch a nationwide political movement, one that could have mobilized thousands of young conservatives to take to the streets. The people behind this weren't going to sit idly by and let that happen. They knew what was coming, and they knew that stopping Charlie meant more than just silencing one man. It meant putting a stop to an entire movement. Now, let's break this down for a second. If you're sitting there thinking, this doesn't add up, then congratulations, you're not the only one. Charlie Kirk wasn't just some random figurehead. He was a threat to a system that didn't want to be disrupted. And Charlie was getting too close to something that had the potential to shake things up, something that had the power to shift the balance of power in the political world. So, who was behind it? Who was really pulling the strings? Was it just a lone political extremist with a rifle, or was there a coordinated effort to silence Charlie Kirk before he could reveal something bigger? As the investigation unfolds, the pieces are starting to fall into place. And let me tell you, the more we uncover, the more this whole situation looks like a well-planned execution. As we continue our deep dive into the suspicious circumstances surrounding Charlie Kirk's assassination, things are starting to look more suspicious by the second. So far, we've pieced together a timeline, some chilling evidence, and a few surprising connections, but trust me, the real twists are just getting started. This whole investigation is not just about finding a killer. It's about uncovering a systemic conspiracy that could rock the foundations of American politics. You can feel it, can't you? The tension in the air, the sense that this story is far from over. First off, let's address something that many are too afraid to talk about: the fallout. We're talking about what happens when the powerful are exposed for what they've done. And, we're getting to the juicy part now. While Robinson has been arrested and charged, the investigation is far from closed. This isn't just about a lone gunman anymore. It's about a bigger picture that some people, particularly those in high political offices, are desperately trying to hide. And trust me, the public backlash is going to be massive. Could there be a political cover-up at play? You better believe it. The speed and efficiency with which this investigation has unfolded raise some serious questions. Just think about it, 33 hours from the moment of the assassination to the arrest. Sure, the FBI deserves credit for their work, but this kind of swift justice feels almost too good to be true. Could it be that the powers that be were more than happy to wrap this up quickly to avoid a public outcry? The truth is, when investigations like this come to light, they don't just stay buried, they explode. The risk of exposure is high, and the longer the investigation drags on, the more people are going to start asking questions. Let's break this down further, because there are some serious implications here. Remember those Discord messages from Robinson's roommate?